These are some very serious allegations. MrBeast's team, they are denying these allegations.
Working out with Chris Hemsworth, riding roller coasters in Canada, posting videos on his main channel, even starting a new Lunchables competitor. It seems like MrBeast really isn't concerned with making a statement to silence the allegations. Allegations that started with this channel here and its 3-part expose series.
Ex-employee is making waves by claiming that everything about MrBeast's empire is fake.
Is it Dog Watch, Dog Pack, Dog Bark?
Dog Pack 404.
Who is Dogpack 404? Why are some people calling him a disgruntled employee and others calling him a hero? Well, today I'm going to be speaking with him directly to find out the legitimacy of his story, get him to clear up some allegations, and have him uncover some new claims that have never been heard before.
I made it in that video sound like there was only one LaQuayo victim, which was the most corroborated, which was his personal assistant, but now I'm thinking there's multiple. In my opinion, I think he's a textbook abuser, verbally abusing or berating, screaming at people in the office. A lot of abusive treatment of employees.
Hello everyone, welcome back to The Asher Show. Dawson, or Dogpack 404, a YouTube channel that spawned out of the blue on June 15th, 2024, and that dropped a bombshell of a video a month later. I worked for MrBeast, he's a fraud. Ever since then, there has been a tremendous amount of commentary channels and news outlets keeping up with his uploads because he has been telling the behind-the-scenes horrors of MrBeast's empire, a subject that was briefly discussed before but fell on deaf ears. Ex-editors like Matt Turner were met with backlash back in 2018 for trying to speak out about his experience.
It does get annoying when the person that everyone knows as a saint, you know as someone who is the complete opposite.
And even ex-contestants like Rosanna Pansino got raked through the coals for even suggesting a MrBeast competition wasn't handled correctly in 2023.
People may not be wanting to hear this or willing to hear it right now, and I think time will do its thing. I think the truth always surfaces.
But now, ever since Dawson has spoken up, people are beginning to listen. It's now been 1 month and 3 videos later, and it seems like mainstream outlets are trying to get in contact with Dawson. This is the DM from someone on the Piers Morgan show trying to get an interview. But there's been a lot of skeptics. A portion of the commentary community who are rallying behind the owning up of MrBeast allegations are starting to change their tune. People saying that he's pushing false allegations to 2 million people. Others saying that he should have waited to come out with a third video. So I decided to speak with Dawson directly and try and clear up some of the questions that people may have had and uncover some new allegations. I thought we could talk and clear some things up. You reached 677,000 subs, 30 million views in only 3 videos. In the first video you covered selling gambling to kids and fake videos. The second was the Jake Weddle experience and then Jamie hiring a registered sex offender.
Yeah.
And the third was about the CEO and the COO, James Warren and LaQuayo Hill. So what was your original goal with these videos?
I don't know, it was originally going to be very different, and then it's just going to be the knowledge that I had and accrued through my research. And I was going to cover philanthropy and all this other stuff. I mean, my goal was just to shine light on the things that I thought were problematic and I brought up as being problematic during my time at the company. And even before the company, like, people found my old Reddit account with like comments about them promoting gambling or whatever, or like not doing the sweepstakes properly, which I thought was shady. And then I brought those problems up at the company. I sort of felt like I felt like a waiter on the Titanic being like, "Yo, iceberg," and they're like, "No, there's no iceberg." So I just thought it would turn into, if it kept escalating or if they kept doing these unethical practices, I guess, that it would turn into a Logan Paul situation or a David Dobrik situation. So originally I was trying to like help the company. But then, yeah, so I posted that first video about my biggest issues with the company, which was promoting gambling and selling fake signatures and faking videos, and just like the lengths they go to say that the videos are real when it's like they're totally not. It's just bullshit to me. And then I was going to talk about crypto and philanthropy and whatever, and then Jake Weddle reached out and he's like, "Hey, I have a story." And he gave me the news of the registered sex offender. So I was like, holy shit, let's cover that. I also had DMs after I posted the first video about some like sexual assault stuff, which I also heard rumored at the company during my time there. But I thought it was just going to be like sort of the LaQuayo thing and maybe a couple other instances. But after that video, I got hundreds of DMs, and not all of them were real. Like probably 30% of them were either trolls or, possibly Jimmy's crisis management team trying to muddy the waters. So yeah, I wanted to cover that, but then there's like big moral dilemmas with covering things without the victim's permission, and like some stories have more evidence than others, and it was all just allegations.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, like, people were like, hey, this is happening, and you should talk about it. So I talked about it.
So after your second video, it seemed like everybody had their eyes on you. People were saying, oh, he's shadow banned and YouTube's watching you, and Instagram banned you for some reason, even though you were only using it to talk to victims and you weren't posting on there. Did you ever get it back?
No, I haven't got it back. I got an email. It was like impersonation. Then I like verified my phone number, and it says it's like waiting or whatever. Like they're looking into it.
MrBeast hired a PR team. He hired a celebrity lawyer. You got hit with a cease and desist from that celebrity lawyer. Like, does any of that worry you at all?
No. I mean, I have good legal backing, and like, I don't know how much I want to spill the tea on the legal strategy and everything, but I think it's pretty well known that they wouldn't want to like go to discovery, and there's a lot of people who speak to me anonymously because they have NDA contracts, but if they were subpoenaed in court, then they could obviously, they'd be free to, you know, cook MrBeast alive. So it's not a major concern.
Yeah.
And I'm following my contracts, of course.
Speaking of MrBeast's lawyer, Alex Spiro, he's from New York. He's worked with Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Alec Baldwin. He deals with defamation. I have a friend that knows him, and he tells me that PR teams usually, like you said, feed false information to try and get you to like defame or slander their client. After your first two videos, you said a lot of people, you asked people to reach out to you and DM you. A lot of them were fake, obviously, but was there any specific fake DM that you got that you realized, oh, this definitely isn't real?
Yeah, there was one really strange one. I can send you the screenshots of it. It's from this account, Linda Smith, which was like created in August, followed no activity, which, you know, people want to reach out to me anonymously, they can create a new account, that's fine. And it's under an alias, but the alias is similar to the alias Jimmy uses, John Smith.
John Smith, yeah.
And by the way, in that message, John Smith is Jimmy.
It reached out to me. I didn't respond originally, but then other commentary YouTubers were like, hey, have you heard of this account? They're like sending me information, and it's saying that like, what was it? Like Maddie Spidell was spreading the rumors about James Warren. And I've spoken to probably like 100, close to 100 former employees by now, who've only had good things to say about Maddie. And then like the James Warren stuff, nobody referenced that rumor coming from Maddie. So I was already like, this is kind of suspicious.
Right.
And then they started talking about the LaKoya stuff. And I heard from other commentary YouTubers that like this person actually had insider information. This wasn't just like a complete troll account, which I later found out. They started messaging me about the LaKoya stuff, saying that it was consensual. And what I found out from other people is that when they did the internal investigation at MrBeast, they determined it was consensual. But like I said in my video, if they wanted to go that route, I would have new evidence to say that it wasn't consensual. And I can send you like some stuff. I don't know. I have to get it approved by people. Like,
yeah.
Like in that case, I don't know if I can say this, but I've spoken to the victim, but the victim was trying to get hush money, and which I supported fully. But what MrBeast, I guess, wanted was for him to say it was consensual. And I have a recorded phone call with him where he's talking about that. I mean, you'd have to like distort his voice and everything to use that.
So, you were right. They are going to come to that. They're going to reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
To add to this section here, not only did the victim say that the sexual misconduct from the COO LaKoya Hill wasn't consensual, but I personally spoke with another anonymous ex-MrBeast employee who was close with the victim, and they said I could share this to corroborate that story. Approximately how long did you work for Jimmy for? 2022 to 2023. When I was wrongfully terminated, and I asked, regarding the LaKoya Hill allegations of sexual misconduct, I wanted to ask if, given your closeness to the victim, you can confirm whether the altercation was non-consensual based on your knowledge. The interaction with LaKoya was non-consensual. It's hard to consent when the person was being drugged without their knowledge.
Yeah, that account was like, oh, well, you should talk to victim's name. And then I said in response, oh, he won't talk to me, because that's what we wanted them to believe for him to get the hush money.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said that, the account stopped responding. And then I was like, oh, hey, can I post this thing about James Warren? Like, post your side of the story or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is an account that like didn't want to spread rumors and all this stuff, and they wouldn't like give me permission. They wouldn't respond after that. So I thought that was very suspicious.
So Linda Smith was definitely a false actor.
Yeah. In my opinion, definitely somebody who had insider information. They wouldn't send total proof that they worked there, but they clearly had insider information. I think that's like probably for plausible deniability. They probably erased the account off their laptops or whatever. But I think there's a definite possibility that was, his crisis management team.
Right. Dexerto, reputable source, as we all know. They tweeted and then deleted. YouTuber Dogpack404 retracted his domestic violence accusations against MrBeast. But the article is still up, but they deleted the tweet. What claim was it that you made, and why did they think that you retracted it?
The domestic violence allegations against MrBeast have not come out yet.
Right.
It was against his CEO and cousin, James Warren. And there was a multitude of allegations, one of which was that there was it was more than a rumor, but it circulated the office where apparently some person had actually found charges that were filed against James Warren. Now I reached out to the person who multiple people corroborated as the original source of that information to try to get the charges, and they wouldn't respond to me. But if I had to guess now, I assume that they had the wrong James Warren, because there's a lot of James Warren in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Which I made pretty transparent in my video, I think. But yeah, I retracted just the allegation that I don't think he has charges that were filed against him. Now, they could have been expunged. They could have been out of state. It's kind of interesting to see, like, these Dexerto and Keemstar run with like, oh my God, Dogpack lost all credibility. This allegation was fully debunked. And it's like, well, what's your source for it being debunked? Is it my tweet? And like, yeah, the domestic violence allegations in general, I don't think are debunked. And yeah, I've spoken to more people. It's like the moral dilemma. Like,
If you can't say anything, don't say anything.
Yeah.
In that third video, you were saying a lot of things were alleged. The people were mad, saying that you didn't have that much evidence and that you should have waited to drop it. And that seems to be half of the audience. Half of the audience were like, this is good. The other half were like, you were too quick with this. So you issued a statement that kind of cleared up a lot of it. And Keemstar was the very first top person who even commented laughing. Roughly what you said in your statement. I'm not a professional journalist or investigator. My goal is just to bring up credible allegations to light so that they can be properly investigated and people can be held accountable. I still believe there are other credible allegations involved with James Warren that need to be investigated. So to clear up to the skeptics out there, what do you actually know that you can say right now about James Warren?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think he's a textbook abuser. I think if you talk to any employees and ask them about James Warren, like, they'll give you stories of him just verbally abusing or berating, screaming at people in the office. And then, yeah, I mean, there's certainly rumors of, him doing abusive things with his domestic partners. I mean, his girlfriend's like half his age. He apparently keeps her on a monthly allowance. And yeah, I just think even like the wider scope of how MrBeast operates, it just seems, with him as the head, it seems like there's a lot of abusive treatment of employees, I guess.
Right, and these are from like the accounts that you've heard from people that reached out to you and told you this specifically.
Yeah, and there's stories of like Jimmy throwing his phones at people and then they get 2 years severance because they just have money to blow, and then obviously those people, severance isn't paid all out all at once, so they can't publicly say anything because that would be a breach of the termination agreement, which you have to sign to get the severance, and then you'd lose out on, a year and a half of income or whatever's left. So a lot of these people, they will speak eventually, and I know there's like, documentaries and stuff working on getting them to speak, but it's like all MrBeast has done with these severance packages is just buy their time, and they know that.
And they don't want to speak on the record because then they will lose their severance essentially.
Yeah, which is why I can't give any like specific stories.
Because it will basically like unnamed name somebody.
Yeah. because the company would know who spilled the beans.
Also, after speaking with Trey, I'm hearing a lot about the COO, LaQuoya Hill. You said you had new info on him. What is it?
Yeah. This is sort of the interesting thing about that third video is a lot of it was allegations, of course, which I feel like I was pretty transparent, and I threw like plenty of disclaimers that people, I guess, avoided completely to come to the conclusion that I was making like factual statements. And like I myself don't believe the allegations are 100% true. Obviously, they're just testimony. If I thought it was 100% true, then it would be a fact, not an allegation. But one of the allegations that I thought was less credible was that LaQuoya Hill roofied people. I was like, I was very borderline even putting that in. But since I published that, it's been more corroborated, and someone had sent me a BuzzFeed article, which I'll send you, that literally quotes LaQuoya talking in the context of a date rape drug. And BuzzFeed's obviously not the most credible, but I think the drug is called like GHB.
GHB, yeah.
Yeah, and there's other, like BBC called it the rapist's weapon of choice. Like, I guess, it's a specific date rape drug where it gets out of your system in like 8 hours. So like you sleep it off, and then victims couldn't like go to the hospital and get tested. Yeah. I posted that video with the roofie allegation. I was like, I'm not so sure. I went on Oopaville's channel and I was like, I wasn't sure about that one. And then people had reached out to me, and it was actually consistent with certain victims' stories, I guess, from people close to the victim or the victims, which is another thing is like, I made it in that video sound like there was only one LaQuoya Hill victim, which was the most corroborated, which was his personal assistant. But now I'm thinking there's multiple. And the reason he got moved recently from MrBeast to become the president of Creator Global was not because my video came out. It was because there was another incident, which I know names of the incident, but like obviously there are people who still work at Beast, so that makes it tough also to like, because they're not going to talk to me and confirm anything. So, but eventually I think that information will come out.
So do you ever think that Jimmy's ever going to respond to any of this?
Oh yeah, definitely eventually. I mean, it's like, do I want to push him and sort of force his hand and make him respond and then address his response? And obviously when he responds is when there's going to be the highest level of visibility. So you want to have the most new evidence against him, which is what I'm kind of like stacking up right now. Or do we want to wait until like mainstream media is involved and then it looks, worse that he hasn't even responded yet? Yeah,
it seems like you're keeping a lot of stuff close to your chest.
Yeah, which is not me like just, I'm going to withhold this information that could help people or whatever. It's like, I refer people to other people, and like, I think let's wait for, the documentaries and whatever for people to fully come out. Yeah. That's my theory.
I saw a lot of people saying under my tweets saying that things were left out to fit a narrative. But like you said, you're waiting, you're talking with people, you're trying to go about it in a way that it comes out properly, which makes sense. And now that some people are picking up in the mainstream, so nothing is being withheld.
You could always do more research and build the case a little bit better, which, I learned with the third video.
Right. Outside of the 3 videos, was there anything that you wanted to share, let out that you weren't going to talk about in your 4th video? I'm assuming this is going to be your 4th.
Working with a lot of different YouTubers, like giving them information.
I feel like all your time is being spent reading DMs and going through messages and putting things aside.
I had, the same way I had a LaQuoya document, I had a James Warren document, but I was just like screenshotting shit I wanted to use, putting it in the document, and then I tried to go back like 15 days later and be like, hey, can I use this or whatever? Yeah. It's like some of the accounts are inactive because they were Beast employees, and apparently they, started downloading people's hard drives. And then other things like, oh, my Instagram just got deleted, so I can't, ask any of those people for permission. And so I was like, I don't know what can be on or off the record. And that's the hardest thing is like, I have so many conversations and I tell everyone at the beginning of the conversation, I won't use anything without your explicit permission. Yeah. Then there's like things where I don't have explicit permission, but it's like corroborated by like 9 people. Where it's like, oh shit, can I say this? Yeah. And it's like, yeah. Like, what can I say? What can I not say? That's why I just handed everything off, my entire investigation off to like journalists and stuff.
Rosanna is doing some heavy lifting right now.
Mhm.
She's getting into contact with people. She's sifting through a lot of messages. Then she's going to be making another video, I'm pretty sure. And you've been speaking with her, and even Rosanna's partner has been helping other people focus their thoughts so they can come out with something new, which...
Yeah. I've been having dinner with Ro and Mike,
Mhm.
my partner Mike. Nicest people ever.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good things about them. And yeah, they've been like inviting other Beast employees over, and yeah, I think they'll definitely be coming out with a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. She was wronged in the past, like last October.
Mhm.
Nobody believed her when she was saying certain things about her experience at Beast. Nobody really picked it up except for H3. And now that things are slowly coming out, mainly due to you, she's getting a little bit of retribution.
They're afraid of public backlash. And obviously, Rosanna Pansino, she's a huge star. And for her to come out and do this exclusive interview with us, it took her a lot of courage as well.
With Rosanna, yeah, in October, her entire experience was just diminished to be like, oh, you got edited out of a hide and seek video. But it's not what it was at all. It was like production people telling seekers, oh, hey, Rosanna's in this room. You should go find her now so that Logan Paul can be top 3.
Yeah.
And it's it's for $1 million. And it wasn't for charity. It was to give to your fans, which, I believe Zach King made 2 highly monetized, highly viral videos. So it was definitely a career incentive. And yeah, they should just be like, yeah, if you're in a competition for $1 million and people are cheating, that should be called out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's very controversial. And then after she called it out, she got, very real death threats. I don't want to speak for her, but a hypothetical example would be like, hey, I know your niece is going to have a soccer game at this location tomorrow. Here's a picture of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to come kill your family.
That's terrible.
Not just what I get, which is Twitter DMs of people being like, hey, I'm going to shoot you. And here's an address. And I'm like, that's my old address, bitch.
Yeah.
I don't think you can legally host a contest and then rig it for one winner.
No.
There's a podcast clip you could pull up of Jimmy on Colin Smear. And he says, what costs Hollywood $20 million to do, we're able to do for $2 million.
Sure. Hundreds of people that work on our videos, multi-million-dollar productions that no one else in the world could do for the money we spent. It would take Hollywood $20 million, I can do for 2. You know what I mean?
It's okay, well, how do you think you accomplish that? Is it just that you're a golden god with a superhuman IQ and just insane work ethic? Or is it that you cut corners when it comes to compensating your employees and ensuring the safety of your contestants and the well-being of your audience,
In-house hiring, getting the contestants to be your people who are already employed, so you don't have to pay them anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, YouTube is it's like the Uber of Hollywood. It's like the gig economy version of Hollywood, where it's decentralized, everyone can access it, which is amazing. But if you're gonna get to the point where you're bigger than Hollywood, you should be subjected to the same regulations, I would think.
You've done 3 videos so far. The 3rd video, you kind of called it a 2.5. Mm-hmm. So there is going to be an official 3rd, perhaps after Jimmy decides to make a statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have enough information that you can make another video. After all of this, because I know you're giving a lot of your information to other people, publications, possibly documentaries. When you wash your hands of MrBeast, what's going to be next for your channel?
I don't know. I was really content with just leaving Dogpack behind and burning all my bridges and then starting a new life. Just go become a goat farmer or something.
Right.
But I feel like I've made more valuable connections through this. Almost very few YouTubers are mad at me for exposing MrBeast. A lot of people privately in DMs are like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like many people are mad except for a select few.
Or there's just, fair criticism, which is good.
Right, yeah.
I like that.
If you do any more deep dives, I think that might be good.
The graphics they have on live poker where it's 97% likely to happen or something?
Yeah.
Of this allegation, I believe to be 95% true.
People keep calling me T-Zilla. No, sorry. CoffeeZilla wannabe. I added the T myself because I enjoy tea.
You do wear a white shirt and suspenders, so.
I gotta set the record straight here. CoffeeZilla is cosplaying as a private investigator. I'm a detective. See the badge?
Yeah.
I'm a detective.
Totally different.
These are supposed to be gun holsters, but they hold notepads. So they're not suspenders. A lot of people were like, who's this light CoffeeZilla light? Don't drink coffee. And I've been cosplaying like this since 2019. CoffeeZilla, when did you start your channel?
Ooh.
I want to cut that out. I don't want any problems with CoffeeZilla. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, you don't want beef with coffee.
Okay, well, thank you for talking. Thank you for clearing a lot of things up. It's right
Yeah,
there.
you should read over the BuzzFeed article. It's insane.
Okay, good. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up and be sure to tune in next time.